Hello everyone, we're back again for another lockdown lap. So I'm just waiting for Shawnee to come in apparently, so we'll have to wait and see what he does. But yeah, we're underway. We've got the classic car race this time, so we've got 4 25% races around Baku, which is everyone's favourite, I know. We've got Mexico, USA and Abu Dhabi to cap it off at the very end as well. So we're just waiting for the lobby to get underway. Hopefully the stream's working. Let me know if it's not. I won't be able to see it if it's not because I'm not on the comments. Give me 1 second. Let me find it. There we go. Right, there we go. Got it. Right, so I've found the stream. There we go. Just waiting for everyone to ready up and we can get cracking. I wonder if Sean's going to join us. Joining us today in the commentary box is Ginger Rage. He's finally made it. He's only a minute late.
Hello.
We'll let him off. We'll let him off for now. But yeah, we're just about to get underway here, Sean. So yeah, thanks for joining me just in time. So yeah, we've got reverse grid on for this one as well. So obviously, I don't know what's going to happen actually for the first race because obviously there's no results to base the reverse grid on. But yeah, we'll see what happens, and then we'll get cracking. How you doing, Sean? Are you all right? You're just woken up or something?
Yes. Yeah, bear with, guys. I am absolutely drowsy as hell at the moment. So yeah, how's it going, Alex?
Yeah, not too bad. Did you have a nice? You had a fun Friday night, did you? In lockdown.
Yes, I did. I know how to party hard in lockdown.
That's good. Somebody has to. So yeah, we're going to get the first race underway now. So yeah, we've got Baku coming up, 25% race, and yeah, most of the guys I think are in the F2004 Ferrari, so the classic car. So well, it's going to be the. I was looking at a comparison, Sean. So I was like, which one's the fastest? It's got to be the best. So I picked the 2004 Ferrari. So I hope that's all right with you. So.
No.
No. Okay, sorry, mate.
I got bad memories of that car, so.
All right, okay, that's fair enough then. So yeah, the pit lane's a bit closed at the moment, it looks like, but we're just waiting for everyone to get themselves sorted, and then we'll get cracking with the first race. So there's no qualifying or anything in this session, so it's just getting straight into the race. There's no formation lap either for anybody watching. So just in case you were expecting one, it's not coming. So yeah, we'll get cracking straight away with the racing, and it's going to start in a few seconds. It looks like. So yeah,
you could say the pit down's on lockdown.
oh, nobody thought of that one before. Oh my god, the pit lane's on lockdown. What a great line. So yeah, we'll run with that. Yeah, we'll take that one, Sean. Thanks for that. So I was just trying to think of some lockdown jokes as over the last couple of hours or so. Couldn't think of any, so I thought I'll better just babble on about something else instead. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. We've got NUF1 starting on pole today, so we'll have a look and see. It looks like everybody is in the 2004 Ferrari. I'll just remember that I've got to put all the thingies on, and we've had absolute carnage already from Toon and Sam, and Gunnar is taking it away.
Oh, look at that! That's a quality start there from Gunnar, our friend there. My goodness me, what a start! Wow,
exactly. He knows how to drive these classic cars, doesn't he? He's been in F1 or in and around the world of F1 for quite a long time. It looks like, so he's taking control of this race, isn't he?
Sam's not taking control of anything at the moment. He's trying to get out of turn 2 by the looks, as in the
it looks
2004
like
Ferrari.
Toon and Samuel have had a bit of a coming together just off the starting grid. I believe that's probably because of I bet they went to a start like they would on a Formula 1 2019 car, and it didn't go their way, did it? Because I can imagine these cars are a bit difficult to handle, especially off a starting grid. Anyway. Oh, Gooners hit the wall there. In the castle section, and he's spun out there, and he's had to let everyone by, and he's all the way down in 7th now. So he's still ahead of Toon and Sam, but we've got Granty leading the way now. Granty, Wesley, Hunter, Emerson, Young Lights, NUF1, and then Gunnar and Toon and Sam bringing up the rear.
I bet you that Gunnar is gonna be raging with that, isn't he?
He's gonna be raging, yeah. Well, I think it was his mistake. Unfortunately, I was looking it up going up the castle section, and he turned a bit left. He was already in the castle section rather. He turned a bit left going up the hill, so it's yeah, that's what caused the issues there. Unfortunately, Grant, he sets the fastest lap, being the lead car, he would do. And we've got another 12 laps to go around Baku.
And Emerson is in the pits then, so I wonder if he'll be able to find this right pit garage here. Luckily, the computer does it for you. Otherwise, I think guys like me would be absolutely
yeah, it's quite lucky that there's not a manual pit entry and pit sort of pit box, I suppose, because it's. I imagine trying to drive in, trying to turn in at the right angle and get into your pit box when all your mechanics there. You might run over a few people, so.
That's a really good idea, I reckon, Alex. I reckon that should be something posted towards Codemasters next year. Having to drive into the pit box yourself, I reckon that'll be quite a good bunch of lols. That would. Yeah,
it'll be interesting to see what happens, especially if it's in a league race format, I imagine. So, I'd think there'd be quite a few. I guess Codemaster would just, if you ran over a mechanic, you'd get a 5-second penalty. I don't know.
Maybe a warning for dangerous driving, I reckon.
Maybe. Well, seeing this is about 10 of them, you probably get about 50 seconds of penalties in one go if you could hit them like a bit of a bowling exercise. So it's just trying to get as many mechanics in one hit.
Luckily, I bowled with the sides up, so there will be no worries from me. I'll probably completely miss my mechanics. Anyway.
You've got one of those chutes to push the ball down, and then it sends the ball down the alley. So,
oh yeah, that metal black thing.
You put it on top, and then you push it, and it rolls down. And Wesley's catch. Sorry, well. Going back to the race, we've got Wesley catching Granty now, so he's only 4 tenths behind at the moment, or 6 tenths now, but he's one of those quick drivers as well, so he obviously racing in the Racing Point for ALR Gold. Obviously Granty's in the Williams for ALR Gold as well, and he's leading the championship, so he's pretty good at racing, I suppose. So yeah, we'll have to we'll go on board with those guys a bit later. We'll just see if there's anybody else in any action. Doesn't look like it. Toon's pooting along. Emerson's going along still. He's trying to catch up with Toon, obviously having made that pit stop, and Sam's already pit as well, so he'll be the rear gunner again for this race. At the moment, we'll see how it happens in the next few races. But yeah, the battle's up front, it looks like.
And that's the place where you want the battles to be, don't you? Really, battling for the lead between Granty and Vesley. In terms of, as Granty's got a 3-second penalty there for not adhering to track limits there, so naughty boy Granty.
But got to adhere to the track limits, haven't you, Sean?
You know all about it. He needs to watch how I race. No, if anyone remembers my 25-second penalty in Austria, that was completely and utter naff. So I was trying to keep it clean there. I was going to say something else, but I thought I'd better not. So Wesley's actually just overtaken Granty. It's your channel.
It looks like he's going to get him back. Is he going to get him back into? Yep, he's going to get him back down the straight. So yeah, he's. I think obviously the straight line speed on these cars is much more interesting and amazing rather than the current cars. Anyway, put it that way. And it's much more fun to watch these sort of guys racing around in something that we don't see every day. Anyway.
I gotta say though, what do you reckon? This is just me, going off on my fantasy world here. But would you love to see the 2004 spec cars there, which a lot of drivers say is probably the best generation of car that has ever graced the Formula One world? Would you love to see these spec cars actually having a race around here?
Well, it'd be interesting to see. I haven't seen any any races like this, but in real life. I think it would be a good spectacle. I think you probably get more fans turning up for that than you do normal F1. Not at the moment, obviously. We're on lockdown, but I mean, when it opens again and we're all able to go to our Formula One, I'm meant to be on a plane right now, Sean, to Vietnam. So it's not going well for me. So
yeah, I was going to say I think you've missed that plane actually by a few hours.
yeah. Well, it was this morning. I was meant to take off to go on holiday to see a bit of an F1 in Hanoi. but not at the moment. I think I'll stay here and stream some ALR races instead. But yeah, we'll see what Wesley can do back on the straight. Is he gonna? I think obviously the slipstream on these cars is more. Well, it's more than in the current cars, isn't it?
Yeah, it's more obvious, isn't it? Look at him; he's right up to the rear bumper, so to speak, of Granty already, isn't he? Look at side by side going into turn one. But look at Granty. I've got to say, Granty's very quick on a straight line, isn't he? My goodness me! Shame about the corners,
maxing out the revs, but it's, yeah. So he's kept the lead there on that straight. I think obviously both of them, well, being in the same car, were topping out at the same speed and right side by side as well. So they couldn't really make much headway on each other there. But it seems like everybody else has decided to have a chilled race now. And although Emerson is really caught the back of Toon quite quickly because he's only 1.2 seconds behind, and he was 13 seconds or so after the pit stop. So he's done something right. So we'll see what happens. Going purple there. Going so yeah, he's 41 from Emerson there. So he's getting he's got some good pace, hasn't he?
And he's through it up into 8th position anyway. So it looks like Toon has had a wobble somewhere. I got to say, if you go to Belarus, I think life is normal over there. So if they had an sorry, I thought Wesley was on the wall. If Formula 1 had a race in Belarus, then that race wouldn't be suspended actually, because there's still business as normal over there. That's the only European country that has football still.
In that case, we better start watching the. However you pronounce Belarus, we'll watch their football league instead, because Premier League's not interested in the moment, is it? Who?
I got to say Minsk. I forget it, or Minsk. I don't know.
Okay, they must be good. So, yeah,
I think they're leading the league at the moment. Actually, as I was, that's what my days have been spent.
He's been watching Belarus Premier League and just seeing how it goes. We just had Wesley's just gone purple in the third sector, and he just couldn't get the move done on Granty there. Again, like I said, right down into the on the main straight. It's side by side, but can't really get the momentum. And Young, like you say, I think you were just about to say, has dropped behind Guna, and he's in the pits.
Yeah, he had a spin just coming out of the castle section there, so unfortunately, and Granty has lost the lead as well to Vesley, but Vesley has gone in a bit too deep in turn 3, and Granty is back through. I'm really enjoying this battle between Vesley and Granty, actually. I think we're going to see more of these two battling away in the coming races in ALR Gold. I'm really looking forward to that as well, because Vesley's a quick driver. He's had 8 races under his belt with ALR now. Of course, actually, I think it might be 9. Of course, he had 7 races in the first season, didn't he, before he was a naughty boy. But he's returned, and he has got to say, I think he's a much more improved driver since returning as well. Because I think in terms of his DNFs, he's only ever had 1 DNF in his 9 races, which just shows commitment as well. I wish I could say the same. The only time I ever finish is usually when the rest of the pack is out. But
that's how you get your points, isn't it, Sean?
That is how I get my points. That's why I like this race.
Young Lights is off again. Sorry, yeah, it's Young Lights again. He's where is he? I don't know where he is.
He's going the wrong way.
He's got disqualified. Never mind. So we don't have to wait for him to finish now. So that's all right, I suppose. Young Lights has been disqualified from the session, so we'll go back on board with Wesley.
I think you asked me about some ideas about these lockdown things. I must admit, I read it when I was half asleep. But thinking about
That's
it,
all right. You don't have to worry about mentioning any of them. They're all bad ideas.
No. I do like one idea actually, but of course we've got to ask for Glock's permission, which I think would be quite funny. But I don't think Glock will find it too funny.
No.
Yeah, that'll be quite an interesting one. If anyone's ever gone to stag do and played Shoot the Stag, think about that. Obviously, no less guns. Anyway, enough about that. New F1's in the pits as well. But I reckon a good idea is if we somehow could, it'd be quite cool if we could somehow flip the tracks and have the tracks reversed. That'd be quite cool. Unfortunately, I don't think Codemasters will allow us to do that, because I reckon it would just be quite an interesting experiment. I think there was a video going around a couple of years ago about Max Verstappen going down at Rouge rather than up at Rouge. I reckon that was that
would be terrifying. I imagine it was. It's quite terrifying in the normal format. So yeah, going backwards would probably be even worse. So I wouldn't enjoy that.
Someone would be launched into the crowd. I really think someone actually launches into the crowd. I really do.
Somebody's going to take off and just fly to the pit straight, are they? So
yeah. They were getting somewhere. I reckon they would get Gatesborough all the way down to last source. And I got to say that would be a personal best for stunt jumps. I'm quite proud of my stunt jump, personal best in Grand Theft Auto, but I think that might top it really.
Yeah, I think that'll be it'll exceed the GTA sort of stunts you can do. So, but I've just got to go back on Wesley. He's got Sam's in the pits again. Oh, he's retired from the session. Going back to Wesley, we've got 3-second penalty for him. I saw in the middle sector there. He has gone purple though, but Granty's also got 3-second penalty, so it's tied on penalties at the moment for the top two, and they're side by side with each other.
Again, and I'm really enjoying this battle from a personal point of view. And don't forget, look, there's Hunter in the background. Hunter is very good on these street circuits. I think he's a very good driver anyway, Hunter is, but I think street circuits like Monaco, for example, even Melbourne, I know Melbourne's not a traditional street circuit, but it's technically on a public road, so we'll class that as a street circuit. I think Hunter is a very good street racer, isn't he? He's so good. I reckon he does really well around Monaco. He did really well around Baku as well over the couple of seasons as well. So yeah, watch out for Hunter. He might sneak back into this battle. I know we've only got 5 or so laps to go, so he needs to kind of sort himself out, get himself going a bit quick. But yeah, he potentially could be involved in this battle in the not too distant future. I've got to say, I do love the look of these cars today. The sound of the cars is absolutely beautiful. It makes me so happy inside just listening to the roar of these V10 engines. It's beautiful as well. Seeing the groove tires as well, which is quite a nice flashback as well. We had it for about 10 years, didn't we? From when the groove tires to slow the cars down to slow the cars down in the end, wasn't it? Because the cars were quite monstrous at the end of '97, weren't they? They were ridiculously quick.
It was a good era of Formula One. That it's a shame that it's changed a bit, but I think it's NUF1 going slowly, coming up to the castle section. I think he might have had a bit of a. Yep, he's had a bit of a front wing damage there, so he's... Oh, and Granty set the fastest lap, so he's pulling away now. But it looks like NUF1 is going to have to nurse the car home or pin it now at the end of this lap to get a new front wing.
Yeah, and so that's unfortunate for Brandon now. Hunter getting a bit squirry there in the background there. I think that maybe Hunter's probably not going to be involved in this fight, as I said a lap ago. So, yep, that's my Mystic Meg career out the window, isn't it, really? So,
well, he could be conserving some fuel just to hope these guys may be burning it right now, and then if he gets within that 3-second window, he can obviously win this race.
And of course, another thing is there's no ERS, is there? There's no hybrid electric or anything like that in these cars. These are proper pure engine, aren't they? Naturally aspirated engines, aren't they? As the experts call them. It's all about pure. No electric here, is it? I love it.
No, we don't know what that is in this era of Formula One. No electronics. No, we don't have any of that. We've got a radio. That's about it. So yeah. We don't want to do anything too interesting like that. We've got there's enough speed in these cars anyway, isn't there? Really, what we've seen in this race already that you don't really need they don't really need the DRS and the ERS to make overtakes. There's been positions all over the place going up and down. So yeah, it's a whole combination of driver skill and driver ability, really, isn't it?
It is, and the steering wheels on these cars are so much more simpler, isn't it? I mean, on the new hybrid cars, you have you need to be a rocket scientist just to drive them, don't you, these days? Which I'm not sure if I love like that or not, to be honest. I prefer, I gotta say, I'm more of a purist. I prefer the guys to drive the cars. Remember, these cars had traction control, though, didn't they, back then? Which I wasn't a big fan of either, really, to be honest. I preferred it when they didn't have traction control. But still, though, I just love the nostalgia feeling to see these cars in action around a modern day circuit as well. Baku, unfortunately, we never got to see these cars in action around here.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's what I said. It'd be quite interesting to see if they did take a few out of circulation and and get some classic cars racing around these sort of tracks. Like I said, it would be more interesting than real F1 at the moment. So, well, in my opinion, so it'll be something that'd be quite interesting to see if they could do it. I don't know. Maybe these tracks are more designed to obviously the current car, so then they might not be as interesting to watch. These classic cars going around somewhere like Baku, because I mean it is more. It's a very difficult track to obviously negotiate. We got a 5-second penalty for Granty there, exceeding track limits. It's a much more difficult track to negotiate. And the newer cars, I guess, are more developed in terms of downforce and things like that, so they might be able to manoeuvre around the circuit a bit quicker. So I don't know what your thoughts are on that, really, because it's, as I said, these classic cars were well, obviously they can do it. They're in Formula One for a reason, aren't they? So it's just quite interesting to see, really.
It is, and we'll come back to that in a minute, because Vesely there is right on the gearbox of Granty there. Granty got that 5-second penalty there for cutting turn 15 there, so he just went with the curb a bit, just too much curb there, a bit too of an acute angle there, and it's a very difficult corner to get right, isn't it? Because it's downward braking, isn't it? And sometimes you can absolutely nail it, other times you can't. Yeah, oh dear.
Oh, it's Toon fan there. He's looking the wrong way in sector 2. He's just spun the car around perfectly, so he's back underway.
That's beautiful. Like I said, that's a beautiful PR out there. Billy Elliott would be absolutely loving that kind of stuff. I really would. I don't know any other dads, famous dancers, really. Oh, I do know Diversity.
And that
like the big group with the one X Factor one year, or
something like that. Or one of them, yeah, definitely.
But apart from that, I don't really know any other dancers. I'd say I do have a good old boogie on a Saturday night, or used to. Unfortunately, we aren't allowed out at the moment, but I'm sure I'll have a boogie later on tonight. When it'll be an angry boogie, though. I think when I crash out of my league race tonight.
I'll join you for that then, and I'll wait to see what happens. That'll be fun. So
there's going to be a lot of swearing.
Oh, great.
So,
okay,
yeah.
We'll see how that goes. Then that'll be fun. So yeah, I was just going to comment on what was I going to comment on? I forgot what I was going to comment on, but I was going to say Evil Hunter. Yeah, that was it. It was on the penalties, because obviously Evil Hunter is now promoted to P2 technically because of Granty's 5-second penalty on top of his 3 seconds. So that's 8 seconds penalties for Granty. He's dropping back still though, so he's not. I don't think he's going to be able to catch up to Wesley and get top spot. But as I said, Granty's just set his fastest lap of the race. But yeah, so I don't think it's going to be. I think it's going to be Wesley who gets pole position here, and obviously with 1 and a bit laps to go now, with Evil Hunter in P2, which is a good result for him.
I think it's a great result for him as well. Emerson needs to pull up his socks a bit, though. He's half a minute back. Unfortunately, that's because he had a bit of a excursion on the opening couple of laps, didn't he? Emerson did. But yeah, I got to say, I've really enjoyed this race. I've loved the classic cars experience. It's been really good stuff indeed. Then, have we got any Formula 2 for the lockdown?
Coming up, mate. Coming up. Don't worry.
Excellent. And as you can tell, I did read your message earlier, but obviously I was half asleep. So, which you did tell me about a couple of times, haven't you? So,
yes,
yeah,
just remind you that
terrible
you were half asleep. Yeah, so it's it's all right. It's not a league race just yet, Sean. It's just a bit of fun. So this says again, just something to like we said on, when was it now? Thursday, wasn't it? Was the last lockdown. So yeah, lockdown laps anyway. So yeah, it's just a bit of fun just to have something to do, really, because I'm bored, and I don't know about everybody else, but I'd rather watch some classic cars going around Baku and Mexico, USA, and Abu Dhabi than sit here and just stare at the wall, really. So I was going to say something rude, but again, I'll just stare at the wall instead.
I can think of a lot of things I might like to do, but again, I don't think it's for public, not for public consumption, so to speak, is it? It's a good method. They'll just run down straight down into turn 1.
Well, you got the fastest lap again, so it's trading between these two, isn't it? So I mean, obviously with the slipstream, I think he can gain quite a bit of time down those straights.
I think there's been absolutely cracking battles from Vesey and Granty. I've really enjoyed this. Really good stuff indeed there from Vesey and Granty. And as I said before earlier on the programme, that I'm looking forward to seeing these guys really mix it up as well, and I'd like to see Emerson in the battle as well. I don't think Vez is going to be a championship contender this year because he's only just joined the league only about 2 races ago, or returning to the league, I should say. But I think next season for season 4, blimey, season 4 already of ALR. Wow, incredible, isn't it?
But, it's been a while.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy, isn't it? I think it's actually just over a year ago where the idea to start this league came into fruition, didn't it? So, blimey, it flies when you're having fun, doesn't it? But yeah, I think next season Vesely, I reckon, will be a strong candidate for a championship challenge, no doubt about that.
You can tell he's improved from season 1 when he was in the league originally before he dropped out. But yeah, you can tell he's come on leaps and bounds from then. Obviously the game's changed a bit, but he's got the experience of online racing, or got another year of experience of online racing, obviously. So and it's only going to help him improve, isn't it? So we'll just see him come across the line. Obviously Grant's going to cross the line first, but we've got Wesley who's going to be in P1 after penalties. Hunter's going to come across the line in P3. We've got Guna's retired in the castle section again, I think it looks like. So yeah, it's not been his friend today, has it? So yeah, just Emerson and NUF1 to come across the line, and yeah, we'll get on to Mexico, I believe, is next up.
Oh, high in the sky, love it. It's a Brandon there. It's just coming into the castle section now. Unfortunately, Guna's disappeared. I just wanted to see what Guna was up to in the castle section, but unfortunately, we didn't get to see that. I've got to say, looking at that, when we first did that castle section, I think Ted Kravitz, I think it was a 2015, I think it's a 2015 post show of Formula 1 season ended. And Ted Kravitz was just standing like in the middle of that, and I was like, how the hell are they going to get those F1 cars through there? It's ridiculous, isn't it? To have a race around the old castle section. It's great. I love
tight. Well, again, it's really rewarding if you get it right. If you nail it, and obviously you can gain so much time over your rivals who, again, it's one of those corners where, well, a few corners where you can lose it all or you can win it all, basically. So it's a terrifying corner, especially if you need to correct the car when you're going through. So it can get a bit scary.
Definitely. Well, unfortunately, the only time I've ever nailed it is usually in the barrier. So yeah, I've nailed the barrier, not the corner or the apex or anything like that. So yeah, less said about that, the better. I think it's too tight for my hips. I think that's why I don't really don't go too well on this track.
That's fair enough. Yeah, I mean, well, we talked about squeezing you through the pit lane in Belgium in the last lockdown laps. So squeezing you through the castle section should be achievable. It's a bit wider than the pit lane in Belgium, but so
what are you trying to say?
I'm just saying you've got room to expand if you like, mate. So,
I think I will be expanding quite a lot in these lockdowns.
Oh, I see. Okay. Right, well, we'll leave it there then. We'll take that away. Well, there's no takeaways to eat. There's no takeaways to eat or anything. So
actually, I had a takeaway last night and it was absolutely fine. Anyway, I'll let you do the.
Oh well, we'll crack on. Yeah, so back on the standings. So yeah, obviously Wesley came across the line. He came across the line second, but he got first based on penalties. Got the fastest lap as well, so that's going to be an extra point for him too. Granty in P2. It looks like. So Hunter did drop off the back and unfortunately couldn't get P2, so I thought he was going to get P2 there, but he's in P3, so that's still on the podium, which is good. Emerson, NUF1, Guna, Toonfan, all finished as well, I think they did. No, sorry, Guna did not. And then Samuel got DNF'd and Young Lights got disqualified, unfortunately for him. So yeah, we'll crack on with the next race now. I think it will go into the next race, or what will happen now? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
I think Young Lights needed a TomTom or a sat-nav to navigate himself in the right direction, really.
Yeah, so yeah, a bit of a some sort of sat-nav and wall would be helpful for him, wouldn't it? Because he seemed to be going the wrong way around the circuit, which didn't really work for him. So unless the rules and flags are off, he'll be penalised for that. But yeah, we've got them on for this one. So yeah, we're going to crack on now over to Mexico. Same cars and same racing. So yeah, we'll see who's going to come out on top on this one. Obviously the setups I was just going to say for Sean, I forgot to tell you at the beginning, the setups are enabled, so they can load a setup. I'm not sure if anyone's got a setup for the for this Ferrari, Oh, we've got Sandman joining. Oh, I remember Sandman from somewhere else. He seems to like Mexico, doesn't he? So
yeah, he joined last time. He was in Mexico.
He seems to be a fan of Mexico. So yeah, we'll as I said, it is open to friends only. So anybody who's on the friends list, or anybody who's on the friends list of some of these guys, if they want to come and have a race, they can come and join in. Oh, he's left the session now, so he doesn't want to stick around. So yeah,
not much sand in Mexico.
No, well, no, probably not. No, but yeah, so we've got Emerson readied up and Toon Fan, so we're just waiting for the rest of the guys to get their setup sorted, and we'll crack on with round 2 of Mexico.
And another modern track as well, of course. Azerbaijan was 2016 at David. This one was 2015, wasn't it? Albeit, well, we did have we did have the Mexico briefly in the late 80s. I think there was one in 1991 as well, possibly. Oh, and 92. My apologies. And we've got Enerlogistics. That level right, is it?
No, God, Sean. Just get the names right, would you? Let's see if we've got any carnage on this start. No, it seems like everyone's got away all right at the moment. So we've got Emerson in the lead now, with Toon Fan and Young Lights in the rest of the podium positions. Granty obviously came in second in that race. I don't know how it's put him fourth, because he gained 3 places. Sorry, it is meant to be reversed. So obviously the guys who were starting, who finished first in the last race, would be towards the back of the grid in this one. But I think obviously because of disqualification.
Oh, what a lunge!
Because of disqualifications and DNFs, it's changed things around a bit. But yeah, we've got 3 wide into the mini stadium section, which isn't great. Usually ends badly, but Toon Fans held a position in P3, and Young Lights dropped behind for the moment. I think it's going to be Granty. I think it's going to be. Oh, I think it might be a red car. Yes, it could be a red car. But yeah, we'll wait and see what happens.
Young Lights is very... Sorry to interrupt you. Young Lights is very... Well, apart from it's a bit laggy, which is standard, really. But I can't say, dear. Goodness me!
Well, that's a great corner cut, that is. He's got 10-second time penalty for troubles, but he's kept P3. So... Oh, he's just retired from the session, never mind. So...
I feel sorry for Toon now, to be honest, because really, I think he was just kind of an innocent bystander, so to speak. And yeah, Codemasters there just threw the book at him, really, so I'm not really too sure about that one. Well, I don't know what your opinion is on that, Knowlesy, because obviously you're much better at judging accents than I am. I just seem to always blame the driver as innocent.
Well, yeah, I think it looked like it. Well, I guess it said like he was lagging about a bit, but yeah, Young Lights anyway. That also maybe there was a bit of a bad connection there that caused a bit of a collision. But we've got a dive bomb from it was Brandon, wasn't it? Yeah, so Brandon. He's gone for a dive and it's put him all the way down to last in P8 at the moment.
Tom Daly-esque. Lovely stuff.
Exactly, right off the 10-metre board.
And Young Lights is...
and he's going for a little spin around now. So yeah, he's... and
Young Lights is struggling. I think he's stuck in reverse, isn't he? I've never seen that before.
I don't know what he's trying to do there, but yeah, okay. Well, we've got Sam and Guna battling together against Hunter, it looks like. So who's going to be able to get the jump on Hunter, or if he's going to get away from these two?
I gotta say, I quite like watching Guna and Sam battle. I'm hoping that Guna might return and see and have a good battle with Sam once again. I quite like the way these two battle, because I'm quite oh gosh, that's
an interesting line, wasn't it?
I gotta say, that's very an acute line there for Guna, and maybe felt like a tighter line would help him sleep shot out there, perhaps. Yeah, I quite like watching Sam and Guna battle. They were quite frisky, weren't they, to begin with? Quite violent to begin with, weren't they, between these two? But I think they started to respect each other, I think.
Yeah, I think, well, it doesn't matter, obviously, on your speed, really, does it? It just means, it's if you're clean and if you keep it in track limits and obviously don't piss off Guna, then you'll be alright. So, they're both good racers, obviously, and they know their way around the track. Obviously, they've been racing for quite a long time as well now, and yeah, they've both improved massively, I think, as well. As somebody else has joined, I don't even know how to pronounce that, so I won't.
Composite.
Yeah, definitely. So no, he's gone.
I got to say, that's actually really. I'm quite proud of that. I reckon I've got that absolutely nailed on.
He finally got a name right, and he's now left the session anyway, so it's not coming back.
That's the end of my. Oh dear me, Gunnar and Sam there once again. You know what? I said they respect each other. Perhaps I'm turned along there.
maybe they're trying something else now. But yeah, we've got
formation flying.
Wesley's on the back of Granty right now, and obviously this battle was resuming from Azerbaijan. So yeah, we'll see if anybody can get the jump on each other here. But again, I think the best overtaking spot is going to be everyone's going to leave the session right now. Maybe we're lagging out, but yeah, it's a best overtaking spot's going to be down the main straight again. But of course, we saw in Baku, obviously maxing out the revs and reaching top speed quite quickly. They sort of end up side by side for each other just down the straight, and nobody moves positions.
I got to say, I don't think anyone said this in history, but there is one similar thing between Baku and Mexico, and there's a very long start-finish straight, isn't there? So, yeah, perhaps I reckon we'll have the same effect there, really, as you said. They'll just max out on the speed, on the top of the speed, unfortunately. But well, fortunately or unfortunately, I'm not sure about that one. I quite enjoy watching them. As Gunnar is unfortunately retired from the session. Brandon is ghosting. He's being a bit ghosty there, and Wesley there
very evil. Spooky, that one.
You could say it's trans. As Gunnar's left the session there. I reckon there might be a bit of rage on Gunnar's part as well. Perhaps I know the man don't rage too much, but he might be a bit unhappy about what's occurred there.
Well, it's yeah, as I said, it is very annoying, isn't it, when you're racing, especially in something like this where you're not really familiar with these cars, because obviously most of these guys who league race are racing in the 2019 cars, aren't they? The current cars. So obviously these classic cars were added as a bit of an add-on to the game, just for a bit of fun. So not many people use them all the time. So getting familiar with them, obviously they had the Baku race to get a bit more familiar with them, but it's going to handle differently around this circuit than it would Baku. So yeah, it's interesting. It's just interesting to see who can handle it best, really, isn't it?
It is indeed. And you're saying about this being an add-on. What I'd love, and I probably banged on about this in other broadcasts, is about just having a classic track in there, like, you know, having Turkey or Imola or Korea.
Or Valencia. Would you want Valencia back?
I gotta say, I actually quite enjoyed racing around Valencia. It was a probably boring track to watch, but I think the best Valencia race was probably the last one they did there in 2012. But I quite enjoyed racing around Valencia. I don't, so I'm probably the only one in history, but I really enjoyed Valencia. I also enjoyed India as well. I mean, again, India wasn't a very good race to view, because I think Vettel just basically smashed all three of them. But I quite liked racing around India. I don't know about anyone else.
Well, it's just it was all right. It wasn't like I said, it wasn't a great, an amazing spectacle, was it? It wasn't amazing watching, but well, I said there's a few races still on the calendar that aren't amazing to watch anyway. But yeah, I think well, there you go. So Sean's thrown his hat into the ring already. So yeah, so it's just a question of obviously getting, because obviously they've got, well, it was going to be 22. Sorry, there's somebody with a big penis outside. So,
I was outside. Sorry, I was going to knock on your door.
Yeah, there was. What was I saying? Yeah, there's. Well, they're trying to fit the full calendar in at the moment into a season. Obviously, we've got the lockdown and the whole situation going on at the moment, which obviously has interrupted the F1 season. But if it was to still be going ahead of trying to fit 21 races into, or 22, is it 22 races now? I've forgotten.
22, isn't it?
Into a whole season, it's a bit of a struggle. So yeah, trying to bring. Obviously, people got to drop out. I wouldn't mind if France dropped out, really, to be honest. But so we can get rid of France.
Bored. I completely forgot about that. So yeah, actually, I've changed my vote. France can go first, then Russia.
It's it's one of those ones. It's I mean, it's not. It's probably, I would say it's even worse than Valencia, really, in some ways.
And the thing with France is, though, they've got so many different configurations around there. They could potentially spice that track up and make it really good. I mean, because it's a test track, isn't it? They got all kinds of layouts. They could really just spice it up. And And so, you know, France might not be, because they're talking about maybe splicing at the first sector anyway, wasn't they? I think Eric Boulier's now the director or something like that over there in the Paul Ricard now. Sam's got a 3-second penalty. So they could spice that one up, I suppose, but Sam's retired from the session.
Yeah, he's got his 3-second penalty and he's had to leave. Yeah, okay, just saw Kyle's comment, but yeah, we knew that. That's good. So we've got Wesley who's just taken the lead now over Emerson. So yeah, I thought Wesley's was going to push on and get the victory here. I think Granty seems to be. Oh, Emerson's coming back at him though. Granty seems to have dropped off a bit in this one. He obviously was battling Emerson. Well, sorry, Granty was battling Wesley. There we go. Get my words out. Yeah, for the majority, well, for the whole of the Baku Grand Prix just a minute ago. But it seems like he's going for it here, and Emerson's battling him really hard for that lead, isn't he? He doesn't want to let go of that one, does he?
I gotta say, I'm quite superstitious. I am so. And I think since Emerson has changed his helmet, which was suggested by his older brother Ayrton, of course which he now has like a helmet and the Ayrton overalls stuff like that. He has. I think that Emerson's really stepped up his game with some of the last races. He's been really incredible, hasn't he? Emerson has. So
let's talk about the helmet more, Sean. Just he's got a lovely helmet.
Everyone knows I love a good helmet. I mean, I talk about a helmet in every race that I've ever broadcasted on. So,
what a fantastic helmet he's got. But back to the racing anyway. So, yeah, it looks like Wesley's going to go for a route, but again, it's the same situation as Baku. Down the straight, they're side by side when they come to the braking zone, and he just can't hang on to it, unfortunately. But Grant's got another 3-second penalty there.
Yeah, I think Granty is pushing on though. He's really starting to gain on these two as they're battling away. Wesley's got on the outside there. I thought he was going to have a peek up the inside there, but Emerson did a really good job actually there, didn't he? To really control himself. Very good stuff indeed. Granty is within a second now of Wesley, but he doesn't have DRS, of course. There's no DRS on these cars, so no gimmicky toys or anything like that. This is pure racing, so it's really good stuff indeed. Toon just said how, and Carl said Monaco's been cancelled as well, which... yeah, that's unfortunate, really, isn't it? First time that Monaco's not going to be on the calendar since 1954.
Well, I don't know if it counts. If it's is it on the calendar at all? If the season just doesn't happen, is any of the races on the calendar? Are any of the races on the calendar? Because obviously it looks like at the moment that we might have no Formula One in the whole season.
Don't sink my battleship.
Oh, sorry, Sean.
I got to say, I stumbled accidentally on that stat. I was someone said about it the other day actually, and I was like, oh, that's quite an interesting thing to share with the viewers. Vesley's got a 3-second penalty. Emerson's well out of shape there, and Vesley's just breezed by, hasn't he? And now Granty's also involved in well. And I've got to say, we've got a great 3-car scrap at the front here. They're in the league at their own, aren't they? 20 seconds in front of Hunter. Is Emerson once again and doing a good job in turn 4, isn't he? Emerson really is cool as a cucumber breaking into that breaking point. Lovely stuff indeed there. But Vesley's taking lead now. I think he might just wander away for the last 9 laps here, Alex.
Sorry, what was that? I was just reading the comment from Kyle, but yeah, it's...
that's all right. If you want to zone out when I talk, fair enough.
No, I do. I mean, I'm in the comments box with you all the time, so I tend to zone out whenever you speak. But what was it that you said? I didn't hear it at all. So if you could repeat yourself, I'll answer the question. So,
I was just saying, I think that Vesley's going to just pull away now, and he kind of has, isn't he? Really, he might start to check out at the front because he has got. I think he's got the pace over Emerson and Grant here. I think Vesley made his debut actually, didn't he? Here in ALR, didn't he? And he was absolutely flying, didn't he? Turned up and was on it straight away, wasn't he? Which I was quite impressed by, to be honest. So Vesley looks really good around this track.
Yeah, he's. I think he's got this track nailed down, really, hasn't he? In terms of he knows exactly how to get around it very quickly, which is helpful. So it's obviously best if you can get around. And Evil Hunter's had a spin there. Just in the final corner, and he's just correcting the car. I don't know if he's coming in the pits or not, but it looks like he's coming in the pits here. So,
I think he was. I think he was trying to type and drive at the same time. Which, by the way, for any of the younger viewers, I say don't do that because you might
that's
crash.
a bit of a stupid decision. So yeah, don't do that. So so we've got. Well, the closest battle at the moment is obviously the two leaders at the moment. It's Emerson and Wesley. Everybody else has pit, I think, or is retired. So it's down to only a handful of these guys at the moment, with 7 laps I think it is to go.
I got whilst there's a bit of a lull in action. And what tracks would you like back on the F1 calendar? Then I mean, I love a good natter. What tracks would you like to bring back from the past?
I would have to go with, well, the one track I would bring back for the lols is San Marino.
Yes. I love San Marino. I think the Formula 1 2005 game, I was absolutely monstrous around there. I love when my mates used to come over. I had mates, yeah.
Oh my god, friends? What are these?
Well, not friends, acquaintances then, or random strangers.
You lured them round to your house, okay.
Yeah. That would be the track where if everyone used to pick tracks, and I would always pick Imola because I was quite good around there on the old 2000 and on the old PS2 2005 version with that McLaren. Was an absolutely cracking game. Would you bring back Korea?
I don't think so. I don't. What? It was. Well, again, I think it was one of those ones where it was a all right track. It wasn't as bad as France, so I'm not gonna bash it any more than that. But yeah. Well, to be fair, I'd probably replace if we're going to take out stuff from the current calendar and put stuff like Korea and Imola and San Marino back in. I'd probably take out France, Russia, and Spain. I don't like Spain. Sorry, Spain.
Oh yeah, Spain's been on the calendar for so long, hasn't it? It's an unusual one, Spain. It's because Spain. I gotta say, recently the Spanish Grand Prix has been quite boring. It's when I first used to watch, when I first started watching F1, when Spain used to roll around, I was just like, oh, this is gonna be a boring race. 9 times out of 10, it was a bit of a boring race, really, wasn't it? I mean, it's because the teams know the track like the back of their hand, really. I mean, on this game, I quite like racing on it, though, to be honest. I think it's a very good challenge, Spain is, because your car can get very floaty in turn 2, and nailing turn 3, you get a proper buzz out of it. I certainly do. Mainly because my setups are usually rubbish, so that's why. So that's the main reason why. But yeah, I gotta say, I think with Korea, I keep bringing that one back. I just find it funny with Korea because it was there was a lot of promise from that race, wasn't it? Like there was meant to have like an amazing like mini city around the track and all that kind of stuff because it was built on a marshland, wasn't it? So I am taking the bit about Korea a bit slightly. Because Bernie Ecclestone was that was his view of the future of what Formula 1 should be, and apart from 2010 racing, the only reason why that was good because it rained and the new tarmac just wouldn't absorb the water.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah, even the full wets weren't going to help you there, was it? So.
But yeah, the last sector was all right, I suppose, to a certain degree. But yeah, I just. It was a novel track, but it's probably been returned to its to how it was. I don't really. It's basically been returned back to nature. I suppose it's Hunter's had a real problem in the second half of the race. There, he's had a couple of excursions off the track now, so I'm not sure what's going on with Hunter there. Perhaps he's surprised that we're talking about Korea in a very random night of racing as this.
Let's talk about something else then. So, yeah, quickly change the topic. So, he's going to be called by Young Lights in a minute. Yeah, so
I got to say, I could talk about. Hey,
you go, mate. Sorry, I didn't have anything to talk about. I was just going to go back to back to the battle up front, but there's not really more anymore because it's a 3.6 second gap to Wesley now for Emerson.
It is indeed. I think Wesley's checked out, to be honest. But I could talk about old F1 tracks all day long, really. It's I think some of the tracks on the calendar at the moment. When Mexico came back, I was quite excited till I seen the final corner because I used to love the final corner of the Paratada, which is now just the Monster Turn, because it's basically half of it's what it used to be. But this track's actually been quite good.
Sorry.
Oh, it used to be like if you the Parabolica in Monza, it used to be like that, but I think a lot quicker, more banked. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It was.
That'd be more interesting, I think, than the current one.
Yeah, Monza. I just remember it because Monza went on the outside of Gear Burger, and it was a very ballsy move. So
that's the way you like it, isn't it? So.
Yeah, I love a bit of balls. Some people are surprised I like F1 because there's no balls involved. Well, actually, that's a lie. There's a lot of balls involved to drive these cars, isn't it?
Well, you could say that the tyres are round. I suppose that's the only similarity in terms of the car. But
and the helmets as well.
Oh, of course, yeah. You gotta love you love the helmet, so yeah, that's fine. So Wesley sets the fastest lap there on lap 16. Well, end of lap 15 now that was. So we've only got 3 laps to go now. So it's yellow flags all over the place again. We've got, who is it for? I don't know who it's for. It's gone away now anyway. So yeah, it's it looks like you said, it's going to be Wesley checking out, and he started P8, which is he started P9, so it's up 8 places. Sorry, if I can get my words out. It's right on the screen as well. I don't know why I'm messing it up, but yeah. So we'll see him take the victory again. Sorry, yeah, because he obviously won the first race as well. So yeah, we'll take that into, I think it's USA next up, because I'm pretty sure I put them in calendar order. But there we go. I don't have a clue really, Sean. So I've just thrown this together and see what happens. But yeah, so we'll see him start the back of the grid for USA. It looks like.
So there's a lot of things are thrown together in ALR, isn't it? As Hunter's retired from this, there's a lot of things giving up the ghost on this one, as we're stringing towards him. And talking of which, Hunter did say that if F1 starts Monaco, 2020 won't be on it at all because they can't get a permit. And of course, Monaco is probably one of the most difficult races to have rescheduled anyway, isn't it? Because it's based in the heart of the Principality, isn't it, of Monaco, and it takes so much effort, doesn't it, to erect all the buildings and all the media centres around it, doesn't it? I mean, I don't mean they erect their apartments and stuff. Of course, they're permanent buildings, everyone. But I'm sure you knew what I meant with the media centre and all that kind of jazz. So yeah, as I said, there's a Ferrari there. There's just parked on the side of the road there. I think that's Hunter's car, isn't it? It's had a big smash there in the exit of the stadium sector as well. So that's a shame over Hunter. But E6. So I think you should get some points anyway, so excellent stuff. But yeah, I'm not surprised Monaco was going to be rescheduled, really. It's going to be very difficult. Canada hasn't been cancelled yet, officially, has it? So I'm still holding out for hope that the race will start around June the 7th or 9th. I don't know why those dates are ingrained in my memory, so it's one of them too.
I think, yeah, I think probably Canada's one of the safest places at the moment in terms of in the world, really, because I don't know what the situation is over there in terms of the virus, but I would imagine it's quite, well, it's not too bad anyway. So yeah, maybe we'll get a one-shot season, and everyone's got a race around Canada, and that's it. So see what happens after that. That'll determine the standings. It'd be very annoying for Vettel if he got a 5-second penalty, wouldn't it? and it got taken away from him if he won it on track.
There'd be more than just a removal of the P1 and P2 signs, wouldn't it? I can assure you of that. But I think that'd be a really good idea. Actually, Canada's probably one of the better races this season, isn't it? So, no argument for me. I'd love to have a race. I'd love to have a final showdown in Canada. It's all or nothing.
They could even just do 21 races around Canada and do one every weekend. That'd be right. The weather will be all over the place because it's Canada anyway. So yeah, one day it'll be snowing, one day it'll be sunny. So yeah, it'll be all right.
You took the words out of my mouth there, because I generally thought it's going to be 10 races of rain, I reckon, and then 10 races of absolute beautiful sunshine. Then there would probably a race with a bit of sleet in it, wouldn't they? Anyway, Wesley's coming across the line.
Yeah, beautiful sunshine around Mexico at the moment. So yeah, Wesley's going to take the victory here as he crosses the line, and we've got Emerson right behind him. I'm pretty sure Emerson's going to finish second. I don't think he's got that many penalties, so he'll take the line and we'll get onto his Granty. I think is the only car in the session to finish now. So yeah, we're just waiting for Granty. He obviously he made his pit stop, didn't he? So that's why he's a bit further back from the front two. But yeah, we'll just see him cruising over the line
I know. Whilst Grant is doing that, Carl's just said they put Turkey back in and remove Abu Dhabi. Yeah, it's definitely Turkey's a monster sort of track, isn't it? That turn 8 was absolutely incredible stuff. Really liked Turkey as well. The reason why it fell off the calendar there was because it was in the middle of nowhere, really, wasn't it? And it was losing money. It's a shame it was built in a difficult place to get to. Otherwise, Turkey, I think, would have been on the calendar for the foreseeable future, just because the drivers absolutely loved it.
Yeah, I think it was like you said, it was an eventful one, which is a shame because there's a few dull ones, like I said, on the current calendar. So yeah, I'd be happy for them to put it back in.
I'm not sure if I remove Abu Dhabi though. I don't know what. I quite like Abu Dhabi. I think it's probably because it's a unique track where it's like it's a dust race perhaps, but I don't know what. I like Abu Dhabi. I think it's because it's got some really good memories of Hamilton being champion and stuff like that there. I don't know.
I think it's just. It seems. I think even on the game here, it seems a bit dusty. So I always feel like I'm getting bogged down in dust. So I can't get any power. Can't get a move on really. So yeah, it's a bit of a. I don't know. There is something that it just feels a bit wrong about the circuit. I'm not sure what it is exactly, but. We've seen everyone getting penalties there apart from Toon, who's DNF'd. So we'll just have a quick look. Obviously we've got Wesley with the fastest lap again, so he's got another point to add to his tally, followed by Emerson, Granty, and I think everybody else didn't finish. So I'll just have a look at the standings. At the moment we've got Wesley on top with 50 points, Granty in P2 and Emerson in P3.
Kyle just said that he actually likes North Korea, and I wasn't really a fan of North Korea of the Korea race personally. I didn't. The final turn was absolutely beast there because you can bottom out and absolutely have an amazing crash around there. I think Petrov did, didn't he, one year? But I didn't like North Korea. I didn't like Korea at all. Anyway, we're talking about all the amazing tracks. We should be talking about this lockdown event, really, shouldn't we? Sorry,
well, it's just a bit of fun. I mean, it's I said it doesn't have to be a spectacle really. It's just a bit of interesting fun on something that we haven't really done before, and hopefully not many people have done before in terms of the guys racing, because it's just some classic cars around some interesting tracks that haven't really seen any classic races around really. That's all. So yeah, just a bit of entertainment really.
And I would ask, are you not entertained?
Oh well, you could say I'm entertained. I think Wesley and Emerson and Granty put on a good show, battling around, and it looks like we're gonna have a whole 4 drivers in this next one. So that's gonna I don't know what it's gonna do to the grid, because obviously I don't think Wesley's gonna start P4, is he? So we'll see what happens in a minute.
You could say the Fantastic Four.
Yeah, exactly. So well done to the Fantastic Four for sticking with it and not bottling the job. So yeah, we'll see what happens in the USA coming up in 2 seconds.
This is one place I would like to be on. We were talking about Canada being the safest in terms of what's going on in the world, but I think that this is one place you wouldn't like to be at the moment, would you? I think it's got the most cases on it from what I was been reading a minute ago. So. Yeah.
I'm not sure. Well, I think the problem with USA, obviously they've got to pay for the healthcare there, haven't you? So nobody wants to pay money to go and get tested. So they're just carrying around the virus, and it's spreading all over the place. So they're not really helping themselves. So it's obviously it's not really good anywhere really at the moment, apart from Canada, obviously. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens with how we can deal with it, and who creates the vaccine first. So it's a race against time, Sean.
It is like it is on this game as well, albeit it's race against each other. Kyle has gone very controversial here and said to get from Silverstone and go to Donington. What do you think about that, Alex?
Silverstone all the way. I'm a big fan of Silverstone. It's a great track, absolutely brilliant track. Definitely no problems with that.
Well, Toon is still in the session now, but he's parked in the garage there, and and so is Gunnar as well, actually. So we've got a whole 4 cars. It feels like a Ferrari demonstration kind of thing. It really does, doesn't it? I think they had 4 cars, didn't they? driving around. I can't remember. I think it was probably their test track, wouldn't they? When they had Bader, Mark Genet, and Barrichello and Schumacher one year, which I thought was amazing actually back at the time. I was loving it. When Autosport published that, it looked really weird, but not as weird as what this is, as they're battling around the first S's around USA in Austin, Texas. As well, what about? Do you like this track? Well, we'll call about that in a minute because I got to say this is a great battle. Is Gunnar and Toon fan of battling each other in the back as well? By the looks, they're in the pit lane, so I wonder if they're just running past each other. It's like you're getting hours about them.
I can't see them on mine, so yeah, I was wondering what you were talking about there. But yeah, so it looks like Emerson's taking the lead there, but obviously it's Granty's coming back at him, and he's on the inside, and obviously Hunter's in P3 at the moment. It looks like, but he's lagging about a bit. Yeah, well, I think hopefully these guys can keep it all close together for this whole race, and it will be an entertaining one with hopefully some good battling as well. As Emerson Emerson's just undercut Granty around there in that third sector. There's no real racing. Well, there is a racing line, but there isn't a strict racing line. You don't have to sort of stick to it all the time. So you can really make up whatever line you want round there, I think, and obviously Emerson did something a bit different to get the lead there.
I got to say, I like the final sector around here. It really produces some close racing, doesn't it? And look at that, Vetti's moved up to third position nicely up the inside of Hunter. Hunter's trying to come back on the inside there, going down to turn 2. Lovely shot on getting from here.
Oh, shame I got it. I got one as well. I got a good shot as well, so don't worry about that. Yeah, I'm not. Well, a lot of people aren't a fan of this track in current Formula One, but I don't mind it. I think it's quite it's definitely it's not the easiest track obviously to drive because obviously like I said, the third sector is a bit of a nightmare sometimes, but no, I think it's a really good track actually. I think it's got everything you need in a circuit to make it an entertaining race. It's just having the drivers to do it as well. So these guys are putting on a good show at the moment.
Yeah, it's Vetti's not going to go at the inside of Granty. Oh dear, there's a bit of orange botch there, isn't it? As Vetti got his elbows up. Yeah, but just a bit of a love tap. We're all good here. Of course, they're allowed to get their elbows out in one way or another. They're coming through the third section now, then before cut up to the turn 18, which was, I think, is basically trying to mirror the Istanbul turn 8 there, but of course they were at much slower speeds there, really, so it didn't really get the desired effect I think the track designer wanted, did it really? So which is unfortunate. Come through the complete lap 2. Emerson leads Vettel second, Granty in third, and Hunter in fourth position at the moment. Hunter's got a 3-second penalty, so they come across the line then to have another lap around here. What I do like about this track is that there's so many undulations around here. It's quite surprising how much a bit of up and down on the track actually makes the track more excitable, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It also chances for braking points as well, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, I agree with that completely. Because especially in downhill braking, I think is a nightmare. But I think going up the hill into turn 1 here, and because of the width of the track as well, I think in turn 1 it just makes it so easy to create different angles, create different opportunities to make an overtake. So, and again, I think it's the same with most of these corners actually around sorry if my voice cracked. So around USA. So I mean, going into this DRS straight, it's really easy to sort of negotiate around this track. In terms of the width is quite helpful with that. And it helps obviously create other lines, like we've seen earlier in the race here with Emerson. It creates other lines that you can choose to get a jump on your opponent ahead of you.
Yeah, and I got to say, I think I'm not a fan of this track personally. I don't know what it is about it. I think it's because I'm trying to look back at some of the races there. There have been some. I think it's the problem that I got is if some of the races that are around here are boring, then I kind of have a negative view on the track. You know what I mean? So that's why I kind of have a negative view on their career, for example, which keeps coming up because I just remember that race. Like being quite a boring one. I mean, apart from that, as I said, the wet one in 2010, The only thing I remember that happened in a career after that was when that fire truck decided to go on the track when they were still racing, which was quite funny and also scary at the same time.
You've got to have health and safety somewhere, haven't you? So.
I know, but obviously the career decided not to worry about that day. It was more concerned about Webber's car being on fire, but I think, which I suppose is quite a health and safety risk, but I think it's more health and safety risk to have a fire truck out there with I think it was Vettel and Rosberg that was coming down the back straight, so that was a thing that really put a damp on things. But yeah, going back to this track, I think I do quite like. I'm kind of in the middle of this track. I think when it comes up in a league race kind of format, I kind of think, oh no, not this track. I think it's just because I haven't got much pace around here. But then again, why don't I like? But then I wouldn't like any track if that was the case, wouldn't it? So there we go.
I think it's for league racing. I think it's actually got a good potential. And obviously, it depends on the racers themselves. Obviously, whether they've got the right setups and whether they actually enjoy racing around this track as well. But it seems like most people don't. But yeah, I personally, I think it's one that I like anyway. And I don't. Well, there's obviously tracks that are better than it, but in terms of sort of the overall sort of watchability and stuff like that. But especially when like you said, when you've got entertaining races, it doesn't really matter what the track is. It just means you've got some entertainment, isn't it? So. Yeah, well, these guys have been putting on a good show at the moment. Obviously, Granty's dropped off the back of it, but Emerson and Wesley are out in front and pushing each other to the limit.
They are indeed, and I've got to say, Wesley tonight has really been on song, hasn't he, so to speak. It's really interesting, isn't it, to see the pace of these guys when they're not in exactly league racing territory tonight, are they? Not in a league racing environment. So it's really interesting to see the pace between these guys, like on an open track kind of thing, isn't it? On these classic cars. Of course, you can't take too much for. You got to take it with a pinch of salt, remember, because these cars are completely different to drive than the current generation of Formula 1 cars, aren't they? Of course, we've seen a lot of guys spin off the line there, didn't we, when in Azerbaijan? So, and you don't see those guys do that in normal league races. So take all this with a pinch of salt. Just because Vesley's won the first two races doesn't mean he's a quick driver.
He's going for the move. He's doing the Emerson on Granty, and he's got it done, I think. It looks like. He's got the move done. They're side by side, and is he going to get it done? Is he going to get it done? He's got it. Yep. So he's taking the lead there, and he's off and away now. So it's it's Wesley on pole again. So
yeah, so Wesley they're just stretching his legs out. And as I was saying, though, that you've got to take all this with a pinch of salt. Just because Wesley's good in this car doesn't mean that he's the fastest of these three. But then again, he might be the fastest of these three, isn't he? Because he's really done incredible, hasn't he? Vesley on this lockdown event, but also in terms of ALR as well. But I've got to say, Hunter's doing a good job tonight as well. Actually, he's only 0.6 of a second behind Granty as well in the background. So, and Granty's not exactly a milk float, is he? When he drives,
not quite. No. So he's he knows how to race on this game and in these cars. I think. Obviously, well, I suppose he's in these cars, but he's it's one of those ones which not many people use in terms of classic races. So yeah, maybe getting to grips with the car. Obviously, it's the third race of the night out of four. So yeah, we'll the next one's going to be the 5-lap one around Abu Dhabi because it's just going to be one to get out of the way. I think. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see what happens with that one. But yeah, it looks like Hunter's actually doing a good job to stay with these guys, and he could be able to get a few. We'll get a couple of places higher, I think, because I'm not sure what the penalty situation is, but I know Granty's got some penalties there. So yeah. So sorry, I said it wrong. Granty. Sorry, yeah, that's the way you say it. So after you had a go at me in the last one, yeah. So we'll see what happens in. At the end of the race, obviously when the standings finish, but obviously he needs to stay with them because it's only half distance at the moment, isn't it? So we'll see what happens in the second half of this race.
Yeah, you can't count your chickens before they hatch, so to speak, can you?
Exactly. Yeah, very good analogy, I think that is, or however you pronounce it. So yes, well done, Sean.
I noticed your pause there, and you're just like, what can I say past that?
Well, I want to take a minute first of all on this straight just to listen to the car because it sounds so much better than the current stuff. And minutes over. So yeah, I think the current, well, obviously they had to downsize the engines really, didn't they, for going through the last few years in Formula One, obviously to be more environmentally friendly. But yeah, you can't beat some classic cars, really, can you?
No, not really. And you notice that when we do the actual league races, mainly because I struggle to shut up more than a couple of seconds, but yeah, we've never said, "Oh, listen to these cars." And I might have said it once or twice in the time I've been covering ALR, but yeah, if we had more V10s and V8s, I would just be like, I'd be quiet a lot more, I think, just because the sound is absolutely brilliant. This is the sound that we all grew up with, isn't it? Yeah,
right. In that case,
now
we
change the format.
Yeah,
get the V12 Ferraris on, then you wouldn't even hear me.
Yeah, we'll sort that one out then. We'll put some V10s in there, and yeah, we'll shut Sean up in the commentary box. No, I can't do that to you, mate. You do a great job in all the leagues that you cover. So yeah, we'll crack on with that. We'll keep it as it is at the moment. So yeah, but yeah, again in the wonderful lockdown session, we might have some more classic cars returning. We'll never know. So we'll see what happens later on in the lockdown laps.
Would you like more classic cars like available in a Formula 1 game? Like maybe have a classic year, perhaps then. That'd be quite cool, wouldn't it? Like,
well,
I mean,
they could do
97.
Yeah, I was just going to say they could do a same as they've got the obviously the current grid. Why can't they do a grid based on a whole season? Say, yeah, like 2004, like for example, they could put the whole of that grid into this game.
Yeah, that'd be really good as well. Because I think that having using the 2004 Minardi would be quite cool, wouldn't it?
I was going to say, yeah, I was going to say, I'd love to race around in a Minardi or a Jordan. That'd be good.
Well, yeah, unfortunately, that was. I think 2004 was, I think, kind of the realization that Jordan would go in.
Oh yeah, I wasn't saying the 2004 Jordan, but yeah, yeah, you know what I mean. Yeah, 2004 was a bit past their time, but yeah, well, I mean, yeah, in terms of having all the classic cars from one year, I think that's definitely something that they should look at because it'd be it'd be fantastic, especially for possible league events and stuff like that. So yeah, I'd be for that if you're going to speak to them, Sean. Just let them know.
Why not? I'll be asking about classic tracks first before classic years. Because to be honest though, Jordan were in 2004, but unfortunately I think that they was unravelling back then, weren't they? Which kind of hurt me a bit because I loved the Jordan. I think it was it's actually one of my favourite cars of all time. Actually, the '99 Jordan was absolutely beautiful. I thought brilliant. And the 2001 car I liked as well with the shark on it. I think the way that their cars they just stood out. I think I felt they had a bit of personality behind them as well. I also like the classic. Just the classic tobacco sponsored cars as well, which I shouldn't really say that really because of course smoking's bad for you, isn't it, Alex?
Of course, yeah, terrible for you.
It's Grant's just overtaken. Grant's coming in the pits, and I think he was out. I'm not sure if he was just wiggling there just to. I don't know what he was wiggling about. I think that maybe he had a problem with the steering wheel or something. I don't know, or he was trying
in for a wing
signal
change.
for me.
He is coming in for a wing change. Okay, I didn't see any damage on that one, but yeah, we'll take it. He's going to be a bit further down the field than the. As Emerson's got a penalty there as well. So yeah, I mean Hunter can. He's got a bit of free air now, so can he get his foot down and catch up to the back of Emerson, or get near to the back of Emerson? I don't think he's got any penalties, but as I said, I haven't seen anything pop up. But I've probably missed something, so don't worry about that. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see how it goes later on in this race. We've only got, well, it's 4.5 laps to go now.
Why don't you know about the penalties, Alex? I thought you should be keeping up with all this.
I'm sorry, Sean. I'm so sorry. But yeah, I was
going
to say.
Miss anything.
I know you don't, and you don't miss a penalty in any league race, especially when there's 20 drivers. I miss penalties when there's 4 of them. So yeah, well, hats off to these guys anyway. I mean, either way, penalties or no penalties, they've done a good job. They've adapted to these cars pretty quickly as well. It looks like so they've put on a good show as well. So and especially Wesley, because he's taken a commanding lead rather at the moment. It's not a victory just yet, but yeah, he's doing a great job. And yeah, well, again, sorry about that, Wesley. If you crash out now, it is my fault. So yeah, well, hopefully he finishes the race this time, and I don't curse him. We'll see what happens in the next one. But yeah, so he's done a great job so far this event.
I haven't said that though. Just going back to the missing the penalties, it says flag is Granty is. I think he's beached it, so life is a beach for Granty at the moment, unfortunately. But yeah, I haven't said that. At least you don't miss lead overtakes, because I think it was last week or the week before I completely missed the lead being swapped. So
right, okay.
Yeah. So there you go. It could be a lot worse. Couldn't
well,
it?
Having said that, I don't want to inflate the ego too much, but I did miss in the 100% race we did round Italy on Thursday. I did miss the overtake for Glock. I think it was on Stringy, I believe. No, it might have been Twan. Either way, it was one of them. But yeah, I missed that when he took the lead and then disappeared for the rest of the race. So yeah, I did miss something there, Sean. So I'm very sorry for that. And yeah, I'll let you carry on as you were applauding me for a bit, and now you can just talk shit about me if you want. Okay. So yeah, go for it.
I will. I mean, I'm not sure if you heard the stream last night, but I think I was proper bantering you. So
were you?
I think
I was.
Not
very nice.
Yeah, I know. He said, I was proper on it last night. He was proper. I was proper making fun of you in Q2. I was like, I think he's lost his controller and all that kind of stuff. So because I don't think he came out the pits for a long time.
For Q2, I was out on track all the time, mate.
Or it might have been Q1 then, but I think it was. I think he wasn't out for a very long time. I was just saying, I think he's lost because his controller. So yeah, that might be in the Alex.
Oh right, okay. Well, no, I didn't lose my controller. Unfortunately, it probably would be better if I did. But yeah, around Monaco, that one. Well, I finished 7th on track, yeah, but I had penalties. So, but yeah, it was it was Monaco, isn't it? So it was always going to be a bit of a nightmare trying to race around that track at any time. So yeah, I was glad when it finished, and I actually managed to complete the whole 39 laps as well.
I know, I was very proud of you, and I was your biggest cheerleader in the comments box last night.
Well, thanks very much, mate. I was yeah, as I said, I was just with no traction control and getting used to it still, and trying to race around Monaco is not a good combination. So I was pretty pleased that I managed to finish the race. So yeah, I'll take that.
Well, I'm never going to compliment you again then, because you didn't even watch it. How dare you? After all my
of course not.
After all my 2 hours of
definitely not.
To be honest, I must admit, I was well off the. I was well off the bubble last night. I couldn't even find the stream for some of it. I was like, where's that gone? So
right,
yeah,
okay.
less said about that the better. So yeah, well, that 13 out of 14 now. Then here in US of A. And Wesley there once again, they're going for 3 out of 3 then by the looks. So my goodness me, I know you were saying about how well these guys have adapted to these cars. I'd say Hunter's done a very good job here tonight in this race, hasn't he? He's almost 6 seconds away from him. So remember, Hunter is a silver driver, isn't he?
Yeah.
And I know silver. I know silver's a new league and all that kind of stuff. So I don't think there is not, in terms of the talent and the talent pool between gold and silver. Long John Silver. I think the talent is very similar. So you can't really say that gold's better or silver's better, really. So because it's a new league, isn't it? And I think in the next couple of seasons is when it's starting to equal out, where we see the cream of the crop rising to the top, so to speak, won't we? So so I don't, even though it's 2 divisions and there's promotion and relegation and all that kind of jazz, It's I think the driver talent between the two leagues is very equal at the moment, I would say. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I think what the obviously for Silver, it was we created the league obviously to or just have another league really, but it wasn't based on skill level. So obviously some people have been moaning a bit, but about other drivers being a bit too quick. But it'll all equal out obviously with the promotion and relegation side of things, and it's only going to make gold even faster as well. So these guys are going to have like Wesley, Emerson and Grant are going to have even more competition coming up to them next season as well.
Indeed, and of course talking to faster, that's why I retired from ALR driving, because I thought I was too quick. So
Exactly, yeah. Well, we had to we retired his number, retired his car, and we just said, yeah, you're too good, mate. You're going to have to go into the commentary box. That was the reasoning. That's why Sean's now commentating. Yeah.
Exactly. That's why my number 0 has also been retired as well. It's out. Emerson's had a big smash at the SSR. And that's why Kimi Räikkönen had a big smash there in 2015. Luckily, Räikkönen did get out there. Unfortunately, this Ferrari hasn't. And Emerson there is that's a big shit there. I gotta say, that must have been some velocity that he crashed there, because I thought he would have just ricocheted the barrier there, but it looks like he's gone in quite hard there. Oh dear, that's not good at all, is it?
Well, hopefully he's all right. His race engineer should have asked him straight away if he's all right, and there's no medical car, so I'm sure he can just jump out and have a little wander around to back to the pit lane from well, a bit far away from the pit lane now, I imagine. So I don't know what the best way back would be, but yeah,
it's get your lift.
Yeah, get a lift on one of those mopeds or something. It's always quite funny watching them get on one of those after a crash. But we'll see Wesley crossing the line now to get his third race win of the event, and we've just got Hunter coming up to the line. Well, coming to the final few corners now as well. So Wesley's to set the fastest lap again on his last lap, which is good. And here comes Hunter across the line, and he finishes in P2.
P2, Kyle. P2.
That's a good result. P2.
And Gunnar's just joined as well. So our favourite Irishman is back in as well. So from where does Gunnar come from? Is it Cork? Is it?
I wouldn't know exactly. I believe it's somewhere nearby to him, but I wouldn't want to say it in case it pisses him off.
Well, I'll do it. I reckon he's from Cork.
Oh, okay then. Yeah, that'll do. So wonderful stuff.
I'm sure he's from Cork. I'm sure that even though he's an Arsenal fan as well, isn't he?
Yeah, unfortunately for him. So yeah, it's nothing's going well for him, is it? So
well, at least they're not doing too bad in the football lately. They haven't lost in a while, have they? So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, because the season's off, then they don't get to lose. So yeah, they'll be happy. So there we go. We've got Wesley again P1 with the fastest lap. Hunter in P2, and unfortunately Emerson and Granty retired.
Yeah, and you see that there's a Grant has left the session there. I think he's disappointed. Maybe he just was inspired about going to the beach after visiting the beach in USA. But that's a shame there from Granty's point of view. I've got a league race at the minute, so nice. So hopefully we can get this race done and dusted, and then I can go off and crash into the wall. I don't know. I'm in Abu Dhabi tonight. Excellent. So yeah, this is going to be
Abu Dhabi. Yeah, that's the one. So we've got more of this coming up. So we've got 5 lap around here right now. So we'll see who's going to finish first out of these guys. It's going to be 3 of them, it looks like. So it's going to be Wesley and Gunnar. Wesley, Gunnar, and Hunter. Sorry, it looks like. No, Gunnar's left session. So it's just going to be a battle between the 2 of them now. So yeah, we'll see how quickly this one goes.
1v1.
Yeah, it's going to be a 1v1. It's going to be a 1v1 for these guys, and then we'll wrap up the session straight away, and then we'll have. Sorry, then like you said, we've got the other league races coming up, and there'll be more events. There'll be more events, different type of formats, different. It won't necessarily be races. There'll be just fun things to do on Formula One coming up for lockdown laps in the future. So yeah, we've already thought of the 4th one coming up next Thursday at 6 PM UK time. So Sean's already seen that, so hopefully he likes it. Otherwise
Yeah.
Well, tough. So Sean's a fan, is he? All right, okay. As long as you're all right with it, that's fine. And it looks like Wesley's starting P3 on the track because they're both behind each other. It looks like. But yeah, we'll take it away now. We've only got 5 laps of this one, so when this is done, we'll finish the event. So well done to Wesley and Hunter for sticking it out for the whole session. They've done a great job. They've done a great job today. Yeah, as I said, hopefully they've had a bit of fun because it is just meant to be a bit of fun session. So yeah, we'll just have a quick spectate of these guys around Abu Dhabi to cap off the event. They've done a great job. And yeah, we'll hope to see you guys and everybody else in the next event coming up. So well done to Hunter there, claiming P1. I think it was based on penalty because Wesley and him were battling all the way through that race. So well done to those guys. In terms of the standings, I think we have got Toon Fan in here. That's interesting. But Wesley was he's carried away with that title. So he's already won the event, I think, before this race even started. So well done to Wesley and Evil Hunter for completing the event. Well done. And finally, well, thank you very much, guys, for joining us. We'll be doing more events and things coming up in the future. Obviously, I hope you're all enjoying the lockdown. And we'll see you next time. Cheers, in.